The defensive playbook you choose is the single biggest determinant to whether you get stopped or not in CFB 26. Luckily for you, in this video, I'm breaking down the 3 best defensive playbooks that you absolutely need to be using right now in college football 26. Regardless of your skill level or whether you want to blitz the quarterback or not, I have a playbook that's going to be perfect for you, so don't skip out on any of them. Let's jump right into it. The first play we're going to break down is the best blitzing playbook right now in CFB 26 from the 4-3 multiple playbook. Let me show you why. Alright, so our first formation here is going to be nickel 3-3 stack. Alright, what we're going to do is turn defensive motion response off and put our RPO pass key on conservative. Alright. The setup here is going to be shifting your linebackers to the right. So D-pad right and then left stick right. So you're going to shift your linebackers to the right and then you're going to use this linebacker right here, Hill Green. I want you to put him in a zone assignment just in case you need to switch stick. Now, as I say, you guys have full freedom of whether you want to actually put coverage on the field or you want to just leave man coverage. If you want to run man though, I would recommend you route commit by pressing Y, A, and then route committing inside or outside. But what you're typically going to notice is, especially when they're sending 5 out, they're going to be an empty protection, which means this right here. There's going to be a flame icon over the head of that linebacker. So when they take the snap, he's just going to loop right through and get that really quick pressure on the quarterback. Another thing to keep in mind is you need to make sure that you are turning this guard outside, all right? So what I mean by that is 71 right here, you see how because of my user movement, he turns outside to block that man, which makes it a lot easier for our man right here to get penetration and then just push his way into the quarterback. So again, set it up quickly, shift the linebacker to the right. If you want to contain, you can do that too, but you're going to drop this man right here into a mid-read assignment or your user defender so that if you put zones in the field, right, like I told you, that's an option, right? If this is your defense, you can now switch stick, right? So it's kind of up to you whether you want to run man or you want to run zone behind the blitz, but we're going to have them call it again, turn that man outside, and then you're just able to see how, like he barely even got there, but it's like he was able to because I turned this guard all the way outside. So again, very important, the little details here. Boom, turn this guy outside. Basically, he's already double teamed by the time our man comes in free. He's all the way up the field, and then he's just able to go tackle this quarterback, just grab his legs and get that really quick pressure. Again, 5-on-5, and you would expect for that to be advantage offense, right? Because no one comes in free, but it's just wrong because we're able to walk in the backfield. But the last thing that we'll talk about here with this blitz is if they block their running back, what you're going to notice how, like I said, you can still, put zones in the field. You could or you could just run man coverage. But what we're going to do now is they're going to be blocking their running back. So it's still really important for you to turn this guard outside because now the running back is a lot more likely to step up and actually block your guy. But you see the offense's POV right here. There's still a flame icon over the head of our linebacker, right? Which means we're good to go. So we take the snap, try to turn that guard outside, and then the running back is the one that has to step up to block someone now, and so then we're just able to push him, to the ground and get him down on the ground for a sack. We see it right here. Jam Miller, the back, has to end up blocking him, stands no chance, and we're able to get that really quick pressure. So that's one of the best blitzes here from the 4-3 multiple playbook, but let me show you another one that might be even better. Alright, and that next blitz we have here is going to be Dime Blitz 3 from Dime Normal. So what you want to do here with this one is you're going to call it, and then you need to make sure that you're using the left tom 2-man custom stunt. Alright, so we're going to call the left tom 2-man stunt. We're going to shift our defensive line to the left, and this is the key. Standing right here over this guard 77. Alright, so optionally you can put a cover 3 cloud in the field so you can turn the weak side into a cover 3, or into a cover 2, so that you're not just getting beat up the seam. But we're going to pass commit our defense again by pressing RB and then right stick up. And so what we're going to see how there's a flame icon now over the head of our defensive end. So now when we take the snap, you're just going to see how we have more guys on that side than they have blockers, and that's what's going to allow for us to come in clean, untouched. So again, 4 guys on this side, and they just have 3 blockers. It's kind of simple, but it's the same thing that I told you from the other blitz here in this playbook, where when you get the attention of the guard, turn him outside, force him to double team, he's late. Now it's over for him, right? Right here, it's over. He's trying to recover, but again, by that time, we already have the advantage that we need. And the key, again, though, is shifting your defensive line on that side, right? So that you can get those 4 guys on that left side of the offensive line, which is what's going to allow you, to get this to work. So again, put 4 guys on that side, right, by shifting the D-line, calling that stunt in particular. And so now we're going to have those 4 guys on that side. Boom, same thing, not a fluke. And you're just going to see how that man comes in untouched. Unfortunately, you're basically huddling a bunch of your defenders, like, up together. And so this can happen sometimes where, like, they kind of chip into each other and, like, they're just late, like, right there. But it's like he's still coming in untouched, so that's not going to happen every time, but just understand that that's kind of the nature of putting 4 defenders so close to each other. Yes, you're creating the advantage, but, they can't, like, trip over each other from time to time. Right, but the last thing here, if they block their running back out, you're just going to see it's a lot of the same stuff. Now, they're going to have a +1, which means the running back's going to step up to block one of your edge rushers. But as we know, running backs, not as big, not as strong as a defensive end, and so a lot of times they're just going to get thrown to the ground. So again, boom, take the snap, turn him outside, exactly what I'm talking about, where we just push that man back into the quarterback, and we're going to be able to get that really quick, really routine pressure. So again, boom, just throw our guy to the ground, and we're able to get a sack. So really here, from this 4-3 multiple playbook, whether you want to run dime normal, you want to run 3-3 stack, you have great blitzes, but you have to make sure that you're moving those guards away from where you're trying to blitz from. Alright, so if you found either of those first 2 blitzes from the 4-3 multiple playbook helpful, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down college football 26 tips and tricks, give you guys free ebooks every single day, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But if you want my full 4-3 multiple defensive ebook with write-ups, videos, screenshots, everything you're going to need to dominate on defense from this playbook, go to the link down below in the pinned comment to grab it today by using code YouTube to get 20% off. I guarantee to help your defense here in college football 26, because I literally give you a step-by-step walkthrough of how to set up all the blitzes and all the coverages. Recommend you check it out, and let's jump right back into the video. Because the next playbook I'm going to show you is the most underrated defensive playbook right now from the 4-2-5 playbook. Let me show you why. Alright, so we're going to come here into the 4-2-5 playbook, and this is the underrated defense that I don't think enough people use. Alright, you're going to come into nickel single mug or 3-3 single mug, whatever. I mean, this isn't a lot of playbooks, but obviously we're talking about the 4-2-5 playbook here, alright? So we're going to make sure obviously we have our settings correct. This was really good at the beginning of the year, but there's another element that makes it even better right now. So we're going to call the Texas 4-man custom stunt. This was good at the beginning of the year, but as soon as they put base and empty protection in the game, this defense wasn't that good anymore. But now we've kind of, found a better way to run it, and so you can use it when they're in base protection. This is really what it's going to annihilate. So we're going to have them in base protection here. We're going to press RB and then press right stick up to pass commit our defense. And now what you're just going to see is we're going to take this snap, or they're going to take the snap, and you're just going to notice how, it's just going to be like that every time, where at least one of your edge rushers, sometimes it's the guy off the left, sometimes it's the guy off the right, is going to walk in free. Because really what happens here is you get the attention of the center. You're not turbo engaging, you're not, user locking, D-pads, doing none of that. All you're doing is really just trying to run down and turn him in one direction. So you either turn him left or turn him right. Here in this case, I turn him right, which leads him right into my edge rusher. That's fine, he's sacrificial. But then we bring this guy off the other side, and it's the same thing, where it's either one side or the other, and he's just going to really pick his poison, and the other man is going to come in free. Now, that's going to happen very often, like I said, not every single time. Never want to sell you guys a full stream here, but this is going to be one of the best custom stunt blitzes in the game, because again, it's only a 4-man rush, but base protection is the most common pass protection in this game. So we call base protection here. We take this snap, we turn this guy outside, and again, he gets chipped up a little bit there at the end, but he's already too deep in the backfield by the time someone touches him, and that's really what's going to make this super dangerous for you, and just going to be really quick, routine, and easy pressure. So same thing as last time, where alright, you turn 72 over here to the right side, he blocks him, but then our man right here off the edge, right, edge rusher. When you have quick jump on this guy, he has really high speed or whatever, agility. This is going to make this even better for you, and that's going to be great. But I always want to give you guys the counter to everything here, and so if you start using this on an opponent, whether it's in regs, franchise, you know, you're playing cut, whatever it is, if they have a quarterback that can actually move outside the pocket, it can be a little bit of a problem for you, because they can just do this, take the snap, and then roll out, where they can basically now develop an entire rollout scheme and get passes on the deep sideline against your cover 2, or split your safeties for a one-play touchdown. So what you need to do from this defense is switch stunts. You can call the same play, whatever play you want to call. Right here, obviously, we're in Tampa 2, but we're going to switch excuse me, to the left Texas two-man stunt. And what you're going to notice now with this is you still need to turn this guard over here to the right to open up room for the left side stunt. But now you're going to have a contain over there on the right side, which is going to help your defense out tremendously. So we're going to have them, again, be in base protection right here. Boom, we're going to take the snap, try to turn that guy outside. And then it's the same thing off the left side, where you get that guy to loop around, come in untouched, and get a sack. But what you're going to notice on the next play, what I'm about to show you, is this contain. This guy is holding his contain. Ty Simpson is not going to be able to roll out. And so again, boom, 72 right here. The center, I turn him to the right. He never sees this, right, until he goes to double team. That's why it's so important to have a good user defender, especially when you're pairing it up with stunts and blitzes, because it's going to make all of your blitzes better, versus if you're just like standing all the way out here and not doing anything to the offensive line. All you're trying to do is momentarily get their attention. But we're going to press D-pad right, press RB, switch to the left Texas two-man stunt, still pass commit our defense. And so now what you're going to notice is they're still going to be in base protection. But not only, I mean, he can come in clean. And so if he's faster than the quarterback, he'll just sack him before he can roll out. But you do notice how this guy's in a contain right here. And so Ty Simpson, even if he doesn't come in free, we're still going to be able to just contain the quarterback on that side. So really, when you combine the left Texas two-man and the Texas four-man stunt, depending on what you need, depending on what you're playing against, that's what really makes nickel single mug the most underrated defense in the game, because again, it has the best custom stunts that you'll find from any formation. All right, before I jump into that final defensive playbook that you're absolutely not going to miss here in College Football 26, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down College Football 26 tips and tricks every single day, like I said earlier, and I'm the only one posting every single day on YouTube right now, so this is really the best channel to get better. So what are you thinking? Go down below, hit that subscribe button, and let me show you that final playbook, which is going to be what a lot of people believe to be the best overall defensive playbook in the game here, from the 3-2-6. Let me show you what makes it so dominant. Alright, so the reality is everyone loves to focus on blitzes, right, and stuff like that. But if you can't stop the run, no one's passing the ball, and your blitz is going to be just meaningless. So what you need to do here from this 3-2-6 playbook, come into 3-2-6 odd on Xbox, I think it's called, and then on PlayStation it's called Dime 3-2. But you're going to come into here, and you're going to call cover 4 quarters, alright? And this is going to be part of our automatic run defense that's obviously found in my 3-2-6 defensive ebook. More on that later. But what you're going to see right here is when you take this blitzing linebacker and stand directly inside the butt of the defensive tackle, what's going to cause is that there's going to be a flame icon over the head of your user when the offense looks at their player. You're not going to see this when you're on defense. You just have to trust your lab work, trust your preparation to know that if I take this linebacker, stand right here in this spot, basically you're putting two guys at the same spot to where the offense, they have no choice but to block both of them, or excuse me, only block one of them and let one guy come in clean. So boom, we take the snap, and that's exactly what happens right there, where they're going to block the defensive tackle, right, the guy that's standing right over top of them, but then they're going to let my user come in completely untouched. And why is this so valuable here in this game? Because the speed boost is so dangerous in College Football 26. Also, like, some guys have jukes, have spins, right? Like, this is a terrible run defense, right? This defense is just bad. Like, it's just 3D linemen. Like, if you can't shoot gaps, if you don't have automatic run defense, you're going to get toted on. So there's a lot of bad run defenses, though, and if you can't stop the run, you're going to be screwed. So what you're going to do, again, come stand directly inside the butt of your defensive tackle like this. Again, common theme, time and time again. Jefferson now has has a flame icon over his head, so I'm going to come in untouched. And you also want to make sure that you're dive tackling the ball carrier in the backfield before he has the opportunity to like speed boost away, to, you know, juke or to back juke, do whatever, you know, tactics people might try to use. But basically, as soon as Jam Miller touches the ball, I'm already diving into him, and he's going to have nowhere to go. So this is going to essentially eliminate inside zone, halfback base, even 0-1 trap possibly. You're going to just be able to just run right in the backfield and shut this down. And as we know, inside runs are some of the easiest and most frequently called runs in the game. And when you have a defense that whenever you think they're going to that, whenever they're showing a willingness from a different look or a particular formation to run inside zone, right now you just have the easiest defense in the world to be able to shut it down. And also make sure, like I said earlier, that you're dive tackling, pressing X on Xbox, square on PlayStation to make sure that you're not getting caught in a tackle battle, that you're not allowing the ball carrier to speed boost away from you, and that you're bringing him down by the legs every single time and not letting him go anywhere. But really, that's a part of what makes this defense so good. You have one of the best automatic run defenses in the game, but let me show you something else. Because obviously every defensive playbook needs pretty good pass defense in a blitz. So we're going to come to nickel 2-4 load mug here. And what we're going to do this time is we're going to come into our coaching adjustments, turn auto flip defensive play off. I always recommend that you have it on, but here for this blitz in particular, we're going to be turning it off. So nickel 2-4 load mug, cover 3 cloud. We're going to make sure that we're calling the left Tom 2, excuse me, not the left Tom 2-man, the left pirate 3-man custom stunt, all right? So again, it's kind of similar to the dime blitz that I showed you earlier, but this time you're only sending 4 people. And so when that's the case, that just means you're going to have to actually do something with your user. So what I mean by that is you're going to shift your defensive line left by pressing D-pad left and then left stick left, right? And then you're going to come stand directly right here over top of this center, all right, over his left shoulder, right? And so again, what you're going to do is user lock or turbo engage. So you're going to press D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down. That's the fastest way to lock your user in place. And so what you're going to see now is when the offense goes to take the snap, you have to make sure that you're spamming A to get off the block. So you're seeing it right there. When you stand over that center and you get his attention, again, just like I showed you from dime normal, you create this 3-on-2 advantage right here on this left side where they only have 2 offensive linemen because my user's taken away their 3rd one, but yet I just have a man come in complete untouched simply because I'm getting the attention of the center. Also, what you're going to notice here is that you're spamming A to get off this block as fast as possible, right? Because you want to be able to get back into coverage to be able to defend whatever routes that they may have, you know, breaking down the field. So again, you can either call the left pirate 3-man stunt from the play call menu, or you can press D-pad left and then press RB, and then you'll see it right there, X, the left pirate 3-man, right? So again, you're going to see it right here. Stand over the top of this center, over his left shoulder, D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down. Okay, boom, take the snap, get his attention, and then you're just able to see how that's going to allow you to get that really quick pressure. So, again, a really underrated blitz that not enough people know about, not enough people are talking about, but the key is getting the attention of the center with your user by utilizing the user lock feature, because now this guy goes to double team out here, and then we're back into coverage immediately to defend anything that they have breaking over the middle of the field. So, again, even if they block their running back right here, we go with it one last time, really not going to matter because, again, you're back into coverage immediately with your user. Now they don't have just like a quick outlet to, you know, hit, but D-pad up, right trigger, left stick down, boom, take the snap, get the attention. Running back steps up to block, but he wants no parts of it. He basically blocks nobody, and yet we're still able to get that quick, easy sack on the quarterback. So really, this defense, really hard to beat, you know, from nickel 2-4 load mug because you're utilizing a good stunt already. It's already good on its own, but then you're combining it with one of the best defensive features in the game to make it essentially unblockable. Alright, so if you found any of those top 3 defensive playbooks helpful here in CFB 26, make sure you go down below, hit that subscribe button. I break down college football 26 tips and tricks every single day to help you guys get better, and you don't want to miss out on any of the content that I have. But if you want my 3-2-6 defense or my 4-3 multiple defensive ebooks, go to the link down below in the pinned comment to grab them today by using code YouTube to get 20% off. They both go through the full videos, screenshots, write-ups, everything you're going to need to dominate on defense here from both of these playbooks, and I walk you through everything you're going to need. But if you want to see a 4-3 multiple gameplay against a real opponent where I was running the defense and locking down, check out this video right here. I'll see you over there. Peace.